Good morning, everyone. Sorry about the delay. My computer is playing catch up here with my charts, so bear with me. We'll get things up and running shortly. Okay, it looks like we're almost there. I can't get the screen share going. Oh, maybe I can. I don't know why it is some mornings it's just so slow loading, but it is. All right, the daily NASDAQ, just to give us a bird's eye view, if you will. And as I pointed out yesterday, we're doing a little trend line bounce that way. And did we get high enough to do a trend line bounce this way? Oh, look at that. We did too. So the market pushing off of the daily highs. We finished up here. We're opening down here. So there is a small upside gap at the moment. Volume still diminishing. What we would like to see when the market eventually breaks one of these lines, either higher or lower, is increasing volume on that day. We'd like to see big volume. That will tell us that the breakout is likely to continue in that direction. So right now, things looking a little bit bearish. Let's take a look at the overnight. Kind of sideways. The European session looks like out of the London Open is when the decline came. From the timestamps, look at this. All these bars unfolding within a minute. So the market was moving a little bit too fast to trade off the London Open. Not quite sure what was going on there. I do believe that when we check the reports calendar, tomorrow is an FOMC day. FOMC minutes coming out, so that could cause a little bit of congestion for the market today. In the meantime, looks like we're getting a little bit of a bear move out of the gate. We'll see if we can get something resembling a trend before we get on board. Sometimes you just got to give the market a few minutes to sort itself. For those of you who like your first in-sync eagle signal, doesn't look like we have it yet. I'm not sure I would have considered this one in sync. You can say in hindsight, yeah, okay, it went down, but as the signal was forming, the band was very, very neutral. So we're still waiting on our first in-sync signal. I suppose you could call this one it right here. Bearish band. We'll see if we get a second push opportunity on that. I'm not opposed to shorting the market. What time is it? Oh, well, we're about 7 minutes in. Ooh, look at them go. Okay, so we've waited this long, may as well wait and see how they react to the trend line. This is likely where the second push is going to occur. Oh dear, I better get that order in. We'll get this out of the way for now. Now, I'm very, very late on this entry, as you can see. But our Bollingers are in sync. We do have our trading band. In a bearish fashion, and we're going to see now about the market's struggling with the swing low here a little bit, but we'll see if we can't get through that. I'm going to roll my stops. Oh, too early? Too early. Darn it. Part of the problem was I got into this order too late. I didn't want to ride out a big swing, but it looks as though the market may be working a bearish bias today. All right, let's leave that alone for now. Had I gotten in with the first in-sync signal, that would have worked out much better, obviously. Ooh, and there they go. So a quick little move lower there. Oops. It looks like it would have eventually gotten down to my profit target. So a little bit too quick on the stops, I'm afraid, but oh well. Now that it appears as though the market is going to be in a downtrend, we can wait for a pullback, maybe to the hard edge, some sort of clue that we'll get another opportunity to sell. I don't want to be too aggressive on the buy side, even though you can see we're getting some nice buy orders. Here's a trend change signal on the Falcon. Hey, way to go, Aspen. Aspen says, got a good catch, shorted a number one signal, pocketed 450 bucks. Nicely done. Yeah, okay, there you go, right out of the open. You know, you see me do that first in-sync signal with the Eagle. You can do it with the Raptor as well, and the Falcon for that matter. The temptation with the opening signal is to grab that early momentum that the market's likely to be a little bit more volatile. And hopefully have a little bit more follow through. Now it's quarter to the hour. This tends to be my least favorite time of the day to trade. Just because for those of you new in the room, you're scratching your head wondering why. Why doesn't Eric trade quarter to the hour? Well, it's not that I don't all the time, but I've found over the years that if I get a bad trade, it tends to occur right at this time. You can see here's a nice example, that number 3 signal. Not that the signal hasn't worked out yet, but had we taken it on the hash mark, well, we'd be sweating the trade a little. Okay, here's another number 3 signal. We should get some follow through off this now. The dual number 3 signals. Let's see if I can do a second push on this one. Now the second push simply means I allow the signal to engage. I see where the market reacts, and then I use that reactionary bar as my entry bar. So this now becomes my signal bar rather than the one with the prompt on it. It's not a bad strategy to use if you're not sure. If you're not sure whether or not the market still has enough momentum to head lower. But the trend appears to be down, so you're probably going to be better served shorting. Pardon me. Now, of course, as with all things trading related, you have to balance it because there are no absolutes in trading. I guess that's the only absolute. There are no absolutes. All right. The market moving too far away from my signal. I'm going to close that out. But quarter to the hour, the market gives you a little bit of a head fake, goes the other way, and well, I'd probably call it at this point a losing trade because my stops would have been up here. Well, maybe. If they make a big turn from here, there is a chance that I could have held on, but really it's not looking that promising. So we'll just avoid trading the quarter to the hour mark if we can help it. All right, what are you guys doing? Okay, we've got a green bar sell. We've got several signals, but I'm going to take a look at this one here, this green bar sell right here. And once I place my order, I'm going to, there we go. I'll explain it a little better now. Let me get my tools activated. Okay, so we got a little bit of a trend line test going on. Looks like the market's reacting to the trend line pretty much on cue. We also have a rule of 3 developing. So we have 1 counter trend signal, 2 counter trend signals. This may or may not have been the test of the extreme. It's hard to tell at this point. The test of the extreme is when the market tries to recover the downtrend but fails. All right, here we go with another hard edge bounce. All right, let's see what they got. Getting ready with my break even. Come on, give me one more bar. They're going to struggle at these swing lows a little bit down here and right here. All right. And at this point, I'm going to take it to break even, and I got my fingers and toes crossed. Ooh, they made one more poke at me, but looks like I was able to hold on. This may turn into a decent runner, by the way, which is kind of odd given that we've got a pending FOMC meeting. But if you want to try to run it out, next stop would be down here, 76.34.5. And the reason I suspected it might be a good runner is because this was the low of the day. And very often when you breach the low of the day or the high of the day, the market will tend to have a little bit more follow through. Okay, well, not a bad start. Remember too that trading is not about frequency, right? This isn't a production line. If you want to be busy getting paid for doing stuff, then go get a job, because that's how it works in a job. The more you do, the more you get paid. Not so in trading. In trading, you only get paid for being right. And if you're right, even just once a day, like our trade right here, we go ahead, we make our profit. That's a $200 profit. That's $200 per contract. My trading day potentially is done. Why? You say, Eric, $200, I can't make it living on $200 a day. No, but, and I always use the $100 example because that should be your goal. But even if you can make $100 a day, whether that be two $50 trades or one $100 trade, if you can do that with single contracts, and we're ignoring commissions and fees just for the sake of simplicity, But if you can do that with one contract, well, 2 contracts, now that's $200. 3 contracts, that's $300. 5 contracts, that's $500 a day. Now, if you set yourself a trade quota of 2 or maybe 3 trades on the day, and you're doing that, that allows you to be very picky. So you don't have to chase every single signal. You can wait for those signals that seem to be the most appealing. And if you trade, like I say, 1, 2, or 3 times a day, and you combine that with the power of multiple contracts, well, now all of a sudden, let's say you're trading 3 contracts, which is probably not out of reach for most people in the trading room, then that, $100 profit became $300. You do that 3 times a day, there's a $900 day. And don't think for a moment that there aren't traders out there doing that. I don't know if Mark's in the room here this morning, but I know from speaking to Mark, he started very small and built his account up to the point where, he's trading 5 or 6 contracts now, 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times a day if market conditions are right, and you'll learn to recognize it. It's not uncommon for Mark to do 4 figures a day. He's not in the room this morning. He was here yesterday. He's kind of been lurking lately. But yeah, it's not uncommon. And it's the most basic of strategies. I keep calling it the best kept secret on Wall Street because nobody's doing it. Everybody approaches trading with the mindset that if you're not trading, you're not making money. They look at a tool like the Raptor and they say, oh, the Raptor, it doesn't work. Look, I got a signal here. It didn't work. Well, see, most of the signals I'm looking at worked, or they'll look at a signal like this and they'll say, oh, it didn't work. Well, they forget that we have high probability profit targets for starters. It did reach its high probability profit target. And the reason we have those is because the market has a tendency to turn around after hitting a high probability target. But, if you look at a whole whack of signals, and there's quite a few in a whack, you don't need to be chasing all these signals around. You look at the market context, and you may look at this and you may say, well, I'm not so sure I want to be trading this. The market looks like a little bit of a mess, doesn't really have a trend. Versus what's going on now, we have a little bit more of a trend going on. So you say, oh, look, I got a number 3 signal. The market's hit a period of congestion after a downtrend. Eric says chances are good the market will try to recover the trend. So maybe I'll take a second push opportunity on this number 3 signal. And we will, there we go, throw our order in, get our exit order out of the way for now. And we'll see if we get any sort of follow through. Okay, so I can bring my exit order back. Now, the thing that disturbs a lot of people about trading is they think they have to have all the pieces to the puzzle. You will never have all the pieces to the puzzle when you take a trade. All right, they're working around halfway, 2/3 of the way to my profit target. I'm going to take this opportunity to roll the break even. Nuts. A little bit too soon, I bet. They should continue with the trend. But here we have it. I've had 3 trades today, 2 break even, 1 profitable. I have my 3 trade quota. I'm in the black. I'm up $200. My trading day would be done. Why would I chase this around some more? All right. Aspen asks, Eric, can you when you get a chance, please explain why we have a number 1 signal at 9:49:21 Eastern. So this must be the one you're looking at. All right. First off, you need to remember that computers are very specific. They just analyze data. It's very black and white. A number is either over or above a certain value, or it is not. The two criteria for a number 1 signal is that the clouds cross over and we have to have a pullback. The hard edges, and we're talking about this signal right here, folks. Aspen's wondering, why did that print? Why is that a cloud crossover signal? Because our hard edges never crossed. I think this is what's probably causing you the confusion. The hard edges did not cross, but the soft edges did. You see right here, the soft edge went from being bearish to bullish, and then it went bearish again. We had the pullback, and then the continuation signal. So that's one that's not quite so easy to spot, but the computer picked it up because, as I said, with the computer, you're either at that value, or pardon me, over or above the value, or you're not. So as far as the computer was concerned, the clouds uncrossed, came back into sync at this point, had the pullback, and then the continuation signal emerged. And that was your number 1. We do seem to be struggling a little bit. Don't know if the sellers have taken their foot off the gas. Yeah, Aspen says, got it. I thought it was hard edge crosses only. And that's 99% of the time what you're looking at. Well, we continue to slide here this morning. It didn't really have a pullback to speak of. Had a couple with trend opportunities to take. It's always interesting to compare what gains the market is making. So we had that move lower pretty much out of the open, then this move, and now this move. So you can see the momentum starting to wane. And this will eventually reverse, and then we're going to start to see this kind of thing going on. Oops. And then there'll be one of those, and then it will slow again, and then the whole process will repeat. Rinse and repeat, as they say. Well, we'll see if we get the bottom holding, if we get a bit of a rule of 3 developing here on the Eagle. The Raptor's probably already, already spitting up counter trend signals. I don't know if I want to short it or buy it just yet. The trend is down, folks. Look at that. Nice little number 3 signal, hard edge bounce. When in doubt, just stick with the trend. In this case, you can look at today's chart and you can say, all right, it appears to me as though the market is in a downtrend today. Therefore, ignore any buy signal, and you can pretty much pick up on any sell signal and do all right. Even the discretionary signals. See, any of the sell signals would have, well, these you would have taken a little bit of heat on, but any of the sell signals would have served you very well had you kept a decent stop loss order. Looks like we made it down here. Took a little while, but we did make it. 76.34.5. Just tagged the secondary support zone. Wait, okay, Aspen, full of good questions here this morning as we watch the market continue with trend. Aspen says, by the way, I'm in the Top Step Trader Combine with $100,000. Nicely done. Have to make 6,000 with no loss, over 2,000 or max draw of 3,000. Like their rules. Yes, their rules are very restrictive. Already overtraded while you were away. My overtrading is my demon. Need to control. Any tips would be good. Well, yeah, overtrading is the problem that 90% of traders face, because we all have that mentality that we should be doing something. You know, for your personal account, the best way to avoid overtrading, as I mentioned, is to set a trade quota. I'm not sure how well that would work with the combine, but if you set yourself a quota, say 2 trades a day, and then look to capitalize correctly on those trades. Capitalizing correctly meaning risking 5% or less of your trading capital. 2% tends to be the ideal, 2 or 3% of your trading capital. So if you're trading $100,000 on the combine, you know, you can easily get by trading 0.5% of your capital. The key is not to be chasing too many signals. I always said that if you can't find one winning trade a day, you have no business trading 2 or 3 or 4 times a day. Okay, Aspen says, what do you do when you what do you do to do nothing while seeing the bars jump up and down? Then what do you do for the remaining hours? Well, personally, I'm a believer that the morning session is the best one, and I always keep my ukulele nearby. I figure if it's good enough for Warren Buffett. No, seriously, I've got a musical instrument nearby. You know, I got a guitar, I got a ukulele, I got an accordion around here. So if I'm bored, I'll play with one of those as I watch the charts go by. Or you can watch cat videos. There's usually, sometimes, you know, I'll have another chart open just to give me a different point of view. Like I like to have a 5-minute chart in conjunction with my my mean Renkos, just to give me another look at the market. You know, so you can kind of be looking at that, and it kind of reinforces what you're seeing. Like right now, you can see the market in a very strong downtrend. I would like to see a little bit of a pullback because it's easier to enter a trade on a pullback. The danger with entering a trade in a downtrend is sooner or later it's going to bottom. And as we make these big moves, well, actually we have a fair amount of structure here, but as we make these big moves, it gets harder and harder to cover the trade. And especially with Top Step, I know given their parameters, it's going to be very hard for you to take this number 3 signal and cover the trade way up here. But remember, your initial stop is your safety net. That's just your parachute. There's always, almost always, an opportunity to adjust your stop. You just don't want to get tagged right out of the gate. The combine is demanding, though. I won't kid you. Ray's in the room. He says, in typical Ray Burke fashion, I sniff glue still to avoid the boredom. Yes, that would explain a few things. Yeah, Keith says, how about walking away from the computer and working on projects around the house? Yes, don't let your spouse know that you're bored watching the computer go by. Ladies, cover your ears. All right. Well, we're getting a bit of a number 2. We're getting a little bit of a bottom going on here. See, we got a couple tests of the extreme. Or, yeah, I guess so. We can call this, even though technically it's lower, it is a retest of the low. This is definitely a retest of the low. It's beginning to appear to me as though we may have a bottom forming. Okay, we already got the trend change going on here in the hawk. The falcon bouncing around a little bit. Yeah, Ray says looks like she's getting a little tired. I agree. Let's take a look here. We got a number 2 signal brewing with a second push. I'm going to try it to the long side if we get above this hard edge right here. The only good thing about a counter trend signal is you know exactly where you need to cover the trade, and you know without a doubt when you're wrong. All right, here we go. Another number 2 signal. Come on, get a little higher. Wow. Okay, got the order in, and we got the fill. Get ready here now with my break even. Ooh, baby, don't turn around just yet. All right, I may have to give it a couple extra ticks on the exit because this is where I know I'm wrong on the trade. If the market takes out the low, then I can say, yeah, I was wrong, time to go. If we are trying to change direction, it will be a little bit of a struggle. You got to try to be patient. By the way, this has got a little bit of room to move too, doesn't it? To the upside. The next resistance line is not until way back up here. Okay, we're about 3/4 of the way to the profit target. Come on, you guys. Notice that little hop that they made there? That's as we tagged a few traders, selling traders out of their short positions. It's called trapping traders. Ron is asking, what's the advantage of Top Step Traders? Top Step Trader is an organization. They fund what's called a trading combine. If you participate in the combine, and it's occasionally they'll let you do it for free, but normally there's a small fee involved. But if you can prove to them that you can trade profitably, they will give you money to trade. And I believe they allow you to keep up to 80% of your profits. Now, if it sounds too good to be true, here's the catch. Their rules for trading are very specific. You know, it's their sandbox. You got to play by their rules. They don't allow you a whole lot of room in stop placement. So you're looking to pick up signals that will have near immediate momentum to them. The good news is that, well, with the exception of the signals we watched unfold here in the last 10 minutes or so, most of the DTS signals do have immediate momentum, right? You get the signal, the market moves. You get the signal, the market moves. That's what happens most of the time. However, there are times when the market will tend to struggle a little bit, as it did through here before finally going. This may have been a difficult trade to take with Top Step, and I forget the exact parameters because it's been a while since I looked at their program. But let's say you took the trade here, they may have required, given their parameters, that your stop be right about there. Now this may have changed, but I know when I looked at it before, it was just a little bit difficult. The problem, of course, it should be obvious. You get into a trade, the market comes against you, stops you out because of their trade parameters, and then obviously goes along without you. However, if you're able to keep a reasonable stop, maybe down here, then you improve the probability that your trade will work out. Stop placement and profit targets are inversely in relation to your winning percentages. In other words, the tighter your profit target, the looser your stop, the more likely you will be right on the trade. Oh, Ray says it's gotten easier. It doesn't matter how much you risk as long as you don't lose their max on the day. Oh, Aspen says that. It's so long as you don't lose their max loss per day and max drawdown. Well, that's good. Because when I looked at it before, when I was entertaining the idea of going into the combine, I was looking at their trade parameters and I was thinking, well, that doesn't really suit the way I trade. I'm usually fairly consistent at picking the market direction, but you know, sometimes the market needs a minute or 10 to sort itself out. Sometimes it's going to retest a zone. Okay, Aspen says, but you cannot trade max contracts. For me, it's 10 contracts for a $100,000 account. Okay, well, that's all right. You should still be able to, if you need to produce 6,000 a day, I think you said, that's really just one decent trade if you're able to go in with your 10 contracts. One trade, $100. Oh no, sorry, you need 6,000, didn't 6,000, not 600, right? Oh no, yeah, you'd still make it. What am I thinking? I'm bad with zeros. All right, but it's worth checking out. I used to be on there. Occasionally they'd have me on their, well, podcast, I guess it is. Eddie and Eddie Van Horn is the host. He's quite the character. Yeah, like Ray says, if you're underfunded, it can really help. Yeah, Aspen says the advantage is that you don't lose your own capital, which to me is a blessing. You know, there are people who can trade who just don't have the money right now to trade. So, Top Step, there are other programs like Top Step. Top Step is the big dog, though. If you're going to pursue this, they're probably the ones you want to look at. But yeah, if you can turn a profit, it's not a bad way to go. Oh, the fee has gone up though. Aspen says it's a bit expensive. It's over 325 US a month. For Canadians, it's more. Yeah, what's 325? Like $1,000 Canadian? No, not really. What is the exchange now? 25%, 30%? Yeah, $1.30. Oh, yeah, right. Ray makes a good point. Their fees are tiered. It's $160 for a $50,000 account. But yeah, it's a very interesting concept. And like I said, if you don't have a lot of money, it's a easy way to get access to a lot of money at a small cost or relatively small cost. And if you can turn a profit, everybody's happy. Yeah, Esmond says common is $1.30, but the max loss is too small, or the commission is $1.30. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I've looked at it, but Top Step Trader, just throw that into Google and you can find out all you want to know about it. At this point, I'm wondering, pullback or new trend? It's hard to say right now. The eagle definitely is turned over. The hawk is neutral. Falcon throwing a little bit of a trend change to the short side, and the raptor's still bullish. So we got quite the mixed bag going on. All right, we're going to get another signal to short here. Now, this did not print as a number 2 signal, but that is what it is. We've seen a test of the extreme. In this case, the extreme being this high. And on the one sense, you can say it's counter trend because the most recent move has been higher. But in the larger sense, you can say, no, it's with trend. We'll see which way the market decides it is. Last chance for the sellers now. They got to move the market lower at this point, or they're going to tag me out. In fact, if they tag me out, I don't do this often, but I would consider reversing the order. And if they're going to do that, then there's a good chance they're going to go up here. Let's see if I can sneak a couple dollars out of the trade, though. Sometimes begging helps. Please, please go lower. Please. I promise I'll wait for a better signal next time. See? Come on, get down there. They're struggling with this zone right here. This little flinch is actually a reaction to this whole 76, 44, 45 zone. And if this trade works out, I'm going to treat myself to waffles for breakfast. So you got to work out. Come on. Yeah. Ray's helping out. Bush. Yeah, Aspen says I'm on my hands and knees a lot. Please, please go lower. Yeah, I kind of caught the market here in a bit of a limbo. All right, come on, give me one more move lower and I will get my exit orders in here nice and cozy. Okay, I'll roll the stop up there. Take it to break even. And yes, waffles for breakfast. Okay. I might have got a little bit lucky there. As the market is looking a little bit more bullish, perhaps. They really struggled down here, didn't they? Got a little bit of a bear move. Enough to hit my profit exact anyways. And it looks like maybe not much more as we got a couple bull bars showing up again. Okay, that was quite the little rally. Nice little hard edge bounce there by the eagle. Okay, we got the warning dot for the raptor. Next signal will be a number one signal to buy. And this is a little dodgy too, as the bigger trend is down, but maybe we can sneak a couple dollars to the long side. Huh. All right. We actually have a bracketable range at this point. What we got going on is a market that's playing possum. We had this sideways trading range We broke up through the trading range. This now is the retest, but we're drifting too low. So it's obviously not wanting to follow through higher. This is the last swing to the short side. If it breaks there, it's probably going to want to continue lower. Go back here to the Raptor. We're bouncing all over the place. I don't think I'm going to go for the big target. So 37, we're going to look to take profit down here around 32. Get ready with my exit order. There we go. So I'm in at 37 3/4, ideally 32 3/4. Here, we'll put it right there. See, the market's going to try to make a number one signal here. So somewhere through here, there's going to be a pullback. Maybe they'll take my profit target before we start the pullback. Nope, maybe not. Get down there. I'm going to squeeze you really tight. Okay, well, I guess I needed to adjust my trade that last tick, but that's all right. That was good for another $60. And here we are taking a bit of a bounce off of the secondary support zone one more time. Oh, wow. Look at this churning back and forth. All right. Here they go. They're going to try to move it higher now, it seems. Maybe. No number one signal to short. We are taking a bounce off of here. The market making a strong move lower without much follow through. That's making me a little bit bullish again. Oh, look at that. We're above the hard edge. We should see a reaction to the hard edge here shortly. Oh, wow. The buyers are out of control. So an early cloud cross. There we go with the warning dot. Where's my signal? The best entry is probably above that high right there. Just to make the market prove itself. A couple warning dots, no signal. Where's my signal? All right, well, there's my signal. I knew there had to be a signal showing up there somewhere. Oh, you scoundrels, get up there. Don't you dare flinch just before my profit target. Oh, you stinkers. All right, well, we'll try it again. They're fighting with this swing high back here. There's a few sellers hopping on board thinking they're going to push the market down, but they had their chance. They had their chance right here. The market has recovered. The buyers should push them back. I used air quotes when I said that. All right, get the trade to break even. Ah, too soon. Well, I didn't feel much like riding out the swing, but I think the market should go higher. Well, a fairly active day given we've got FOMC minutes coming out tomorrow. I did not think the day would be quite this volatile. Yeah, Aspen, I agree. He says on the Raptor, the #1 gives you a good edge. I believe so, especially if you hold out for this type of setup. You know, this one here is practically textbook. Just the spacing of it, the bands are emerging, the crossover, the pullback, and you could see we can anticipate it. We can anticipate that it's going to develop. Well, looks like they're hitting the skids again after what appeared to be a promising rally. They've put on the brakes. Looks like the sellers are stepping up again. They're kind of, we're getting breakouts, but no advancement. Right, there's the top end. We've broken here, and then we broke here, but we're not advancing at all. All right, here's a number 2 signal to short. We're getting a trend change signal on the Falcon, but I've been stuck on the Raptor here for a while today, so we'll just stay with the Raptor. This will be the last trade today. And what I'm looking at now is a trend resumption to the short side. That's all it is. It's just the market showing me that, yeah, we're ready to go lower. The exit order could be a viable buy because if we get filled here, it'll be a number 3 signal. It'll be a hard edge bounce. All right, here we go. Into the hard edge, so we're going to get a little bit of a reaction here. Bollinger Sweet is in sync. Come on, you guys. Only need a couple more bars from you. Yay! Yay! All right. Well, I think we're going to close up the trading room now. If you are going to continue to trade today, well, in spite of some pretty decent swings, we really haven't gone that far. Well, here, you'll see it better on the daily chart. Well, maybe not. If you remember, the mornings began down here at around 76.70, and we're trading around 76.40. So we really have not moved all that much today. A lot of this decline came in the overnight. So we have ourselves a fairly broad trading range at the moment, and the market seems fairly content to trade within there. Here we'll finish with a little tip from Aspen. Aspen says, if anyone is interested in having economic news right on the chart, I have it from JT Echo News 2 from the Ninja Forum. It puts news right on your chart. Okay. I always figure if anything really important happens, I'll hear about it. Otherwise, I'm not too bothered with the news. If you're going to continue trading today, though, I'd probably favor the bears a little bit over the bulls right now. The market definitely a little bit soft. All right, gang, let's do it all again tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye for now.